Hi there! Today we're learning English while I walk along a country trail that goes past horses, vineyards and orchards in Australia. If you're new to learning English and want to see more about life in Australia, maybe you're planning to travel here, are studying here, or will move here for work, this video series will help you understand everyday English while exploring real places around Melbourne and Australia. In this series, I've used the 3,000 most common English words to help you learn quickly through comprehensible input. I make new videos every week, so please subscribe to see them every Sunday. Okay, let's go for a walk. Today, I'm driving about an hour out of Melbourne to walk along a nature trail. In Australia, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. The cars coming towards me are driving on the right side of the road. I've arrived at the trail, and over here I can see a bike pump. This trail is popular for bike riding as well as walking. People use this pump to inflate their tires, which means to put air into the bike tires. Nearby, I can see a bright pink bike. It's completely painted pink. It looks like it's part of a display. Today, I'm walking along the trail, not riding a bike. I'm starting the walk by following this wide dirt path. Over there are some large mounds of dirt. They've been shaped into jumps for bike riders. It's a place where people can practice jumping, turning, and riding their mountain bikes. Let's walk into the forest along this path. The trail is lined with tall, thin trees. Lined means that the trees are standing along both sides of the path. The trail is wide and flat, so it's an easy walk. It's very quiet right now. I can hear birds chirping in the trees. Now the path has become narrower. It's not as wide as it was before. If we look down, we can see green grass, clover, and small light purple flowers covering the ground. If we look up, we can see a thin strip of blue sky between the trees. The trees are starting to cover more of the sky. There's more shade underneath, but we'll see less blue sky. The path is wide again now, and the trees are more spread out. They're casting long shadows across the ground. These trees have thick, textured bark. The bark on this tree looks rough and bumpy. Tree bark is the hard outside layer that protects the tree. This looks like the back of someone's property. Property can mean any building or land that someone owns. But in Australia, we sometimes call a house with a large piece of land out in the country a property. It's not quite a farm, but it's much bigger than a normal backyard. Here, some new trees have been planted. They're very small and still growing. It seems like they've only just been planted. They have green covers wrapped around them to protect them from animals and the wind. These will protect the tree as it starts to grow. Hopefully, these small trees will one day grow into tall trees like the others that are around here. This is the back of another property. There's a gate so the owner can walk directly onto the trail. Over there, I can see big stacks of firewood. Firewood is wood that people burn in a fire to keep warm. They've chopped it to store for later. In this paddock, I can see 3 horses. One white horse is standing in the shade. 2 brown horses are standing in the sun. They're eating grass calmly and moving slowly. This tree here is a very well-known Australian plant. Do you know what it's called? It's called a wattle tree. The yellow flowers look like soft, fuzzy balls. Wattle is Australia's national flower. That's also why Australian sports teams often wear green and gold. I can see something else through the trees. Can you see what's on the other side of the path? Let's walk over and have a look. There are rows of trees planted neatly in lines. It's an orchard. An orchard is a place where people grow fruit trees. The trees are organized and evenly spaced. Let's have a look at the flowers that are blooming on these trees to see what kind of fruit they're growing. The trees have small white and pink flowers on them. These look like apple blossoms. Loads of little white apple blossoms have bloomed. Soon they'll have grown heaps of apples. In Australia, we often say loads or heaps instead of a lot or many. There are loads of flowers. They'll grow heaps of apples. Have you ever grown fruit or vegetables? Perhaps you live on a farm or a property like this. Or maybe you've grown something small in your backyard or on your balcony. Let's keep walking and see what else we can find. The path is wide again, with trees forming green walls on both sides. A family on bikes is riding towards me. They're wearing helmets and pedaling their bikes up the path. We said hello to each other as they passed. Here are more flowers along the path. They're different from wattle, but they look a little similar. They both look soft and fluffy. To continue, I need to walk through this gate. There's a sign showing I'm at the halfway point. I've walked 3 kilometers so far. I only have 2.7 kilometers to go. When I finish, I'll need to walk all the way back to my car at the start of the trail. This next part of the trail goes uphill. There's a slight incline, which means that the ground slowly goes up. Can you see the angle of the hill? It's not steep, but I can feel it in my legs. Next to the trail is another property. This one looks like a vineyard. A vineyard is where grapes are grown to make wine. The grapes grow on these vines and then they're picked and turned into wine. They look quite small, so they must just be starting to grow. This part of the trail is covered in grass. There are 2 thin lines in the path for bikes to ride back and forth. A tree has fallen near the fence. It's lying on the ground with no leaves. Only the trunk, branches, and small twigs are left. This tree might have fallen because of strong winds that blew it over. I can hear the family on their bikes coming up behind me. The dad is pointing at some cows in the paddock. I almost missed them. They're tucked away behind these trees. The cows are sitting quietly in the shade. They're a little hard to see in the shadows, but the cows have big horns and thick fur. They look calm and relaxed. I kept looking around, but there weren't any more cows in the next paddock. A paddock is a large fenced area where animals like cows or horses live. I'll keep walking. The sun is bright now, and I can see my shadow on the grass. Through the trees, I can see open fields and rolling land. What a lovely day. When I walk through this gate, I'll almost be at the end of the trail. There's a soccer pitch here. This is where teams can play soccer. There are nets at each end of the ground and a bench in the middle to watch the game from. The last section of the trail is next to an equestrian club. An equestrian club is where you ride horses. I think these are some of the obstacles that the horses can jump over. I've made it to the end of the trail. Now I have to walk the whole way back because I parked my car at the other end. But before I head back, I'll have a sip of water from my drink bottle. And I'm going to eat this punnet of fresh blackberries. Thanks for walking with me today. What can you call a house in the country with a lot of space around it? A property. What do you call a place where fruit trees are growing? An orchard. Which word means that something is going slightly uphill? Incline. What do you call the land where animals like cows or horses live? A paddock. What do you call a place where grapes are grown to make wine? A vineyard. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like more videos like this, there are more coming. I'm creating extra listening and speaking practice videos to help you learn English quickly. Where would you like to go next? And which everyday English topics would you like to practice more? Please let me know in the comments. If this video has helped you, please subscribe for more simple Australian English practice. See you next time.